Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Gavin or Bornhead coming at you guys with a brand new video. And today we got a Supreme guide for 2020, how to bot Supreme successfully for you guys. Now, I have been botting Supreme for years. It's been a long time since I've gotten into Supreme and got my first bot and actually successfully got my first item with that bot. It's been a while. I used to run like Slayer, Taskbot, you name it, like all the old bots that used to work. I started out with those, and now we're here today in 2020, and I've been getting a lot of questions about my Supreme botting setup, as I would say Supreme is probably my most successful website that I do bot. I've just been doing it for years. I'm more used to it, and it's always been pretty easy for me to secure Supreme items. So today we are going to be going over what I do to bot Supreme, so you guys will be just as successful as I am, if not more successful than I am with your Supreme botting adventures. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little montage of my past Supreme live cops throughout the years. Now let's get into all of my settings for my Supreme bots so you guys can be just as successful. So for the Supreme bots I'm going to be showing you guys today, I'm going to be showing off Mech or MEK and F3 or Feather. Both of these bots are very successful on Supreme, especially during this 2020 season. Now, both of these bots are a little bit pricey. F3 is actually probably one of the cheaper Supreme bots out right now, but it's still around like $600 if I'm not mistaken. And MEK or Mech is peaking around like 1600 right now. So they're both pretty expensive bots. Now, it is going to be a little expensive to get into Supreme unless you are going to be copping a bot like Candy or Supreme, which is a little cheaper, but Sue hasn't updated to V6 yet. There's also some iOS bots like Quick Cop. I'm pretty sure there's Swiftpreme and a few other Supreme bots that I'm probably forgetting of, and I'm sorry about that. And there's also a bunch of AIO bots that have Supreme, like Phantom, which technically isn't really a full AIO, but we got Phantom. Most of the Shopify bots also have Supreme, like Cyber, Kodai. Prism 2.0 is adding Supreme very soon. And there's just a bunch of bots that have Supreme. Basically, every bot, if it's an AIO, has Supreme, and then if it's not an AIO, it's just a Supreme bot usually. So getting into the task creation part of the bots, the first thing you're going to want to look at is your keywords. Now, you're going to want to get these keywords from the guides that these bots provide in their Discord weekly. Now, this obviously depends on what Supreme is dropping for the week. There's going to be some items that are way more hype than others, so we're going to want to go for those items, obviously, to resell, unless you're going for something personal. Different story, but most likely you're going to want to be going for the hype item. So you grab the keywords there, you can paste it in the keywords part, which obviously most bots / every bot is going to have a spot for you to put the keywords. So then you just plop those in right there. So if I wanted to grab the canvas backpack, I would throw it in F3 just like that, pick the category as bags, and I will change the category back here to bags. And then for proxy list, now for the proxies, I personally run DCs. I know a good amount of people that also just use a localhost, but if you just use localhost, I've seen some people run max about like 10 tasks, others run like maybe 5. I personally have seen the most success running about 4 to 5 tasks on localhost for Supreme. So that is no proxies at all. But doing this, you cannot really go manual. If you do this, you're going to have basically 5 instances of Chrome users going on your one IP in the bot, and that's really not technically a good thing. But if that's the only way you can do it, then I would stick to about 5 tasks localhost. If you're not running localhost, then I 100% recommend DC proxies for Supreme. DC or ISP proxies, either one's resis will not really do the trick for Supreme, as DCs, the speeds are way faster. And I also suggest New York proxies for Supreme, as they just ping faster to Supreme's website since it's based out of New York. Moving on over, you got the category. You just pick whatever category you had from the guide. again, color, size, you guys know that, item quantity, and then for modes, now this is going to differ depending on the bot you are running. So for example, on Mech, I have browser safe, browser normal, super, and API, as well as in-store signups. One is a browser and one is a request mode. And then if I move over to F3 here, it's just restock mode, which I usually always have on. Use proxy I have on. I do not have captcha bypass on, and safe mode is the only other mode other than the normal regular mode with restock mode on, because I usually run on F3 just normal tasks, restock mode on, use proxy, just like this. And then in F3's Discord, they will tell you after the EU drop what mode to run on US. So if they say 50-50 restock mode, safe mode, then I will run 50-50 normal with restock mode and then 50-50 with safe mode. I basically just follow the Discord guide. I've seen way more success without safe mode. So personally, if I'll see like a 50-50 in the Discord, I'll run maybe 70-30, a little bit less safe mode, as I've seen more success without it. And then moving on over to the bottom here, which is a little bit more of the task settings, we got the captcha bypass, which I do not enable, as captcha bypass has been clipped for about a year now. Retry on failure, you're gonna always want this on. If any bot asks you if you want retry on failure on, you definitely want it on. It's just going to retry if you get an error at checkout or an error in general. It'll just keep retrying. It won't just stop the task. And then cardinal bypass and 3D bypass. Now these are for the EU. So I've never personally messed with these. I know 3DS is the payment processing for Visa and MasterCard, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know what cardinal is. I think it's probably something around the same. If any of the EU boys down below want to let me know what cardinal is, that would be great. But personally, for those, if you're in the EU, you're just going to want to look at Discord and see if you have to enable those for the week or not. And 3DS bypass is in most Supreme bots because I know that is usually enabled in the EU. And then store credit, I'm pretty sure Mech is the only bot with the store credit option, and this is if you have store credit from returning an item to Supreme, and you can use that on your online purchases, which it just matches up to your card information. So that is basically it for the task creation. Other than what I explained to you guys, basically you just have to watch your discords for the specific Supreme bots because they are all pretty different with their modes and some of their settings, etc. So other than the basic settings like your keywords and your delays, which I'll get into in a sec, and obviously using DC proxies, basically just look at your specific bot's Discord for what modes you want to run for that week. As you can see over on Mech here, I only run about 10 browser tasks for the week, as some browser tasks did not work and a different browser mode did, as well as like super and API. I only ran a few API and a little bit more super because they told me to run more super, and super actually hit more for me. So yeah, as well as like I told you with F3, you just got to basically pay attention to your Discord Wednesday night or Thursday morning before the drop, and you will see what they want you to run. Moving on over to the profile side. Now, I'm not going to click into my profiles here because I don't want to leak any of my information, but I will do this for you guys. I'm just going to explain basically how to jig your profile to get multiple items from Supreme for the week. So here is the way I set up my profiles for Supreme. Now, this is just kind of like a test profile without the card information, but going over here, you can just leave your name. If you're running multiple cards, you obviously need different card information per item. So if I was to get one canvas backpack with one card, I would need a brand new card for another canvas backpack, etc. So no matter what, you're going to need a different card every time, and privacy cards do not work on Supreme. But getting into the first thing you're going to want to change here is your address line 1. Now, what I do is I just added 3 random letters to the front like that. So it doesn't matter what letters they are, just all caps, 3 random letters, and then you leave that alone. Address line 2 does not matter for me. I never use that. I just leave everything else the same, zip code, town, whatever. And then for the phone number, I change up like the last 4 digits. They could be random. It doesn't really matter. And then for the email, if you have a Gmail account, you can just do after or right before the at, you can do +1, or you can do a dot in between some of the letters if you have a Gmail. And if you have a catch-all, you probably know how to use your catch-all, but you basically just type anything at your catch-all address. So if I had gavin.com, it would go to whatever email I set it up as. So that is how I use my profiles to jig to get multiple items on Supreme. Now, the next thing we are going to go over is the proxies I use. Now, I always use DC proxies for Supreme. A little bit ago, I used Resis every once in a while for Supreme, but I didn't have nearly as much success as I do now. The DCs that I do use for Supreme are loop proxies, Oculus proxies, and space proxies. All the links are in the description for those. I have also ran loop Resi on Supreme and had some success as well, but it's just not as fast as DC proxies are. So I tend to run DC proxies and they just cook for me. So the next thing I did want to show you guys is my settings here. Now, again, different bots will have different settings. So for mech, the settings are on the left here for your tasks. And then if you come to the settings tab, you have your CAPTCHA harvesters, as well as AYCD autosolve, your Discord webhooks, and whenever you have to renew your bot. But if you come over to F3 here, you got your task settings here, as well as import, export your profiles, import, export your tasks, your harvester port for your CAPTCHA solver, which is a Chrome CAPTCHA harvester, your Discord webhook, miscellaneous settings, which is to save your proxies, which you should always have enabled. So for the first thing I will go over here, this is my delays. Now on F3, I run a 100 monitor delay, usually a 200 retry delay and 1500 max retries. Now I've had great success recently with this since F3 has started working again this 2020 season. It's been going great. I've had 59 total checkouts so far on F3, and I've had a bunch on mech as well. As you can see, I got 13 of the canvas backpacks. I got a few Air Force Ones. We got 27 of the Yohei Yamamoto logo tee. But overall, my task settings for the delays: on mech, I run 1000 monitor and 0 checkout, and then on F3, I run 100 monitor, 200 retry delay, 1500 max retries, and then I run 100 checkout delay, which is what you do when you create your tasks. For my Discord webhook, I just have that set up to my Discord webhook. And then profiles, you don't really need to worry about that. The harvester port for F3, this is something specific to just F3, so you would check that out in the Discord if you were to purchase this bot. And then autosolve, talking about autosolve and getting into the CAPTCHAs, you are going to need one clicks and good Gmails for Supreme. Now this is just a must. Without good Gmails slash one clicks, you're basically probably not going to cop too many items. You could possibly get maybe a couple, 2 or 3 items if you can solve the CAPTCHAs fast enough, but usually the most hyped items for Supreme can sometimes even sell out in under 5 seconds. So it's insane. You have to be as fast as possible, and getting one clicks with your Gmails will get that done for you. Now to get good Gmails like this, you're going to need a tool like AYCD Autosolve or Kodai Essentials to farm your Gmails and get those scores up, get those one clicks, etc. For that, I use AYCD. I've had AYCD for a few years now. And since they've came out with Autosolve, I also do use Autosolve on restocks. For restocks, I just set up my Autosolve, I let it run, and if I leave my house or something, I'll have like 45 Gmails that have one clicks start getting one clicks for me, and then I can hit restocks, and it's great. And for my restock setup, a lot of people always ask me this: what is my restock setup? Because I do hit a decent amount of restocks on Supreme. Usually, when there's a big wave, I'll hit a good amount. So for MEK, I just click the restock button, and then that's it. I just leave everything this same way I had it. On initial, monitor delay is at 1000 on mech, checkout is at 0, and then on F3, same exact settings. We got checkout delay at 100, and then the monitor delay 100, retry at 200. And that is basically it for that. Now I'm going to give you guys a few tips and tricks, some things that I have learned over time botting Supreme, some things that don't necessarily happen every week, but they could end up happening. Now, for the first thing I want to say is definitely start your tasks a little bit early. Now, I've seen some bots and some groups tell people to start tasks about 10 seconds early before Supreme. I personally usually start some of my browser tasks for some of those bots about a minute early, and the rest, the request tasks slash bots, about 30 seconds early, as Supreme could drop early sometimes. I've seen it many times happen where they do drop early. I've also seen it happen where they drop very late. For example, last week the Canvas backpack, that drop actually ended up happening at about 11:05. So if you start your tasks a little bit early, it could save you if they do end up dropping early, and you'll always be prepared if they do drop a little bit late. Now, for restocks, Supreme does not really ban proxies too much. They do eventually, but it's not very often that they do ban proxies. So when you're running restocks, you can honestly run them 24/7 if you have some good DC proxies, without a worry of them getting banned. And if you have AYCD autosolve or just your captcha solvers loaded with some one-click Gmails, then if you're not even home slash sleeping and they restock, you will most likely be able to hit that restock or get pretty close to it. Next up is Supreme does sell out very, very, very fast. Now, I did mention in the video that sometimes stuff sells out in under 5 seconds, which is very true. You can see some box logos or even the Supreme Air Force Ones, some of the really hyped items that just people just want for themselves. They end up selling out very, very quick. So those one clicks for your Gmails or those checkout delays and the monitor delays slash your proxy speeds, all of it kind of adds up into one. And you just have to have a very, very fast setup for Supreme. As well as if you do not have very fast internet speed, I do recommend running a server for Supreme. Now, you can get a server over at AWS or Google Cloud, and there's a bunch of other YouTube videos on how to set up servers for botting or just set up a server in general. Honestly not too difficult, and I'll link one of those videos down below for you guys if you guys do want to do that. So yeah, that is going to basically wrap up this video. I wanted to get out this Supreme video before the North Face, before the box logos come out this year, because I know a bunch of people want to get into Supreme. There's a bunch of new resellers out there that are just getting into it now, as well as some older resellers that just want to get back into Supreme, especially botting it. So hopefully this video did help everybody out. If it did, make sure you guys leave a like down below. Make sure you guys subscribe, turn on post notifications. All the sponsors, links, and discounts are in the description down below. Make sure you guys check out my Twitter and join my Discord if you guys want to chat, chill, whatever, ask questions, game, vibe. You guys know the drill. Thank you guys for all the support recently. It really means the world. And yeah, Newborn Hype Cooks episode will be coming out next week. A few of the releases that I did end up copying this week, I just wasn't home at the time, and I ended up copying them on my phone as they were Shopify drops, like the JJJ, Reeboks, and a few other things. So yeah, we'll have an update in the next Born Hype Cooks for you guys. And thank you guys for all the support. This has been your boy Gavin or Born Hype, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.